All right, just as a reminder, while you're looking at the presence of what is an admission by the entity that's engaged in state surveillance, this is a magnification of light that's supposed to, it's not even logical, because the sun that's above us is not, while it would be creating what is a downward trajectory of light, is not both creating the shape of the windows, touching on the outside of the building, and also piercing through closed blinds, necessarily piercing through what are also closed blinds at an angle into the window and magnifying the size of those closed blinds. That's not sunlight, that's demonic. That's entirely demonic. That's literally light crawling, creeping in and magnifying that, and it creates the shape of what it's touching and magnifies it in size. That's very, very demonic, okay? Very, very demented. This is illustrating to you the mind state of the demon possessed. They're not well, okay? And you are not well by virtue of engaging in group stalking. It's a highly malicious conduct, not by one that does not know right from wrong. It's not mental insanity. This is more along the lines of sociopathic, psychopathic conduct. Okay, the entity is creating this light activity, and I'm only capturing this video because the other timestamp I want to remind you of, April 21st, 2022, as I'm capturing video at 9:45 a.m. under the light source that remains over my head here. And while the LAPD is group stalking on video, and I capture that video, and I'm reminding you about where I'm at after getting off of the Omnitrans bus at 10:45 a.m. like I just captured this previous video, and you're looking at this light activity, and you're looking at that light source, and you're also looking at that light source in its zenith over me at the same venue, the Montclair Transit Center. The two are not the same, but I also captured, again, it's over my head while I'm on public transportation, and while in motion, street for street, turn for turn, the entity is maintaining that light source over my head. So that's Upland, California and Montclair, California, and this is while I'm inside of my apartment. You're looking at the light source outside of my living room window, and this is documentation at Alvarado Gardens, where I don't go anywhere, and the entity is keeping the light source rising and setting it in alignment to my apartment, in alignment to my office, and aiming in what is engineered light. While the entity is stalking by helicopter, that's the entity acting directly, and the people of the state who I am documenting acting with that entity, acting with impunity, that is posing an impermissible threat, the grounds of federal prison. And that's exactly this body of evidence, and the entity stalking with the police is grounds of federal prison for again, Tina Reed, Thomas Waddick, Lorraine Pena, and the entity acting through Gabriel Carbajal, the entity and also engaging in terrorism while they are crossing path with engineer light moving across the buildings while they're stalking me, all right, group stalking. This is the engineered light, so the demon possessed cross path, and somehow this engineered light coexists with their driving underneath that which isn't even the sun. It has nothing to do with the maintenance of the light source, in the same way that this light activity that you see, the same light activity you see moving across my ceiling and appearing out, has nothing to do with the maintenance of that light source. Those are demons that are engaging in acts of terrorism, as I document, and that's why they're going to federal prison. That's why they will be subject to mental examinations and placed into mental facilities. This is a federal prosecution that will break down the demon-possessed population that's engaging in terrorism in the United States. All right, this demonic activity, which is terrorism, is serving a criminal system. It is criminal monitoring also with communication devices. All right, in violation of existing federal law, Title 18. So I just want to remind you of the specific timestamp. It's not only Omnitrans at 10:45. I'm going to remind you of what is at the Montclair Transit Center, where the entity is group stalking by airplanes under the light source in Montclair, California at the same time. Yeah, there's no sunlight that's going to be inside of my apartment. No light source that's going to be visible through my living room window. And at no point is there even going to be a sun rising nor setting outside of my apartment, where the entity is maintaining its light source, if that's the sun, for the duration of the day, as I documented it, because the two are not happening at the same time. And under no circumstances is that even the sun. So you can argue on behalf of the illusion, and then you can also come back to what is reality. Under no circumstances is that natural, okay? And daylight savings time, as you also see, does not even apply. It's 10:59 a.m. And this is just a note with regard to the significance of the videos that I'm uploading for purposes of vivid illustration and substantiating what is federal prison for the people of the state, who will be subject to federal prison and mental examinations while they're engaged in terrorism, vicariously acting on behalf of the government, monitoring you and monitoring with communication devices, threatening your life in doing so, and then continuously posing that unlawful threat on behalf of the state that likes to threaten through the corrupt law enforcement agencies, and while they are monitoring you and stalking you in your face when you are documenting it. Okay, so they're not monitoring you while you're ignorant of it. It's a whole other level of a threat to do so vicariously on behalf of the state while you're documenting it, which the demon-possessed, a vicarious actor of the government, are fully aware of. Okay, that's why they engage in communicating a threat in real time and immediately upon documentation. It's a well-documented pattern. All right, and nothing is happening coincidentally or ignorantly in the specific environment. It's POC.